You know what's wild? People were paying $300,000 for some of these RVs just a few years ago. Today, you can find the exact same models for less than half that. Some dropped 60, even 70%. We're not talking about beat-up high-mileage disasters either. These are clean, well-maintained rigs that their owners thought would hold value. Turns out, the RV market is one of the most brutal depreciation machines in the vehicle world, and certain models got absolutely destroyed. Some of these drops will shock you. Others, you'll kick yourself for not knowing sooner. 1. Thor Motor Coach Venetian. A guy walked into a dealership in 2019, dropped $285,000 on a brand new Venetian, drove it for 2 seasons, and tried to trade it in. The dealer offered him $110,000. He thought they were joking. Thor's Venetian was supposed to be their premium diesel pusher, the one that would compete with Newmar and Tiffin. Beautiful exterior, spacious floor plans, all the bells and whistles you'd expect from a 6-figure motorhome. The problem? Build quality that couldn't back up the price tag. We're talking delamination issues showing up before the first warranty expired, slide mechanisms that required constant adjustment, and electrical gremlins that would make a Lucas engineer blush. The depreciation curve on these things looks like a cliff. First-year loss averaged around 35%, which is brutal even for RVs. But then it kept going. 3-year-old Venetians that stickered for $280,000 plus were selling for $130,000 to $150,000. That's a $150,000 haircut in 36 months. The math is honestly terrifying if you're the original owner. Here's what really tanked values. Thor's reputation for quantity over quality started catching up with them. Owner forums exploded with complaints. YouTube became flooded with "What went wrong with my Thor" videos. When your $300,000 luxury motorhome shares the same chassis issues as your $150,000 entry-level gasser, people notice, and they remember. The market is now flooded with used Venetians from owners trying to get out before values drop further. Listings sit for months. Private sellers are competing with dealers who took these things in trade and need to move them. If you're shopping, yeah, the prices are tempting. You can find 2018 to 2020 models in the $100,000 to $140,000 range. Just understand why they're there. 2. Winnebago Horizon. Picture this, it's 2017 and Winnebago is riding high. The Horizon is their answer to buyers who want that Class A diesel pusher experience without the Newmar price tag. Sales are strong, reviews are positive, and depreciation seems normal. Then something shifted. The Horizon wasn't a bad motorhome. That's what makes this depreciation story so interesting. Winnebago build quality was actually pretty solid compared to some competitors. The Freightliner chassis was proven. The Cummins diesel was bulletproof. So what happened? Simple economics and market psychology. Winnebago released newer models with better features at similar price points, immediately making the Horizon feel outdated. Then the pandemic hit, flooding the market with barely used RVs from people who panic bought during lockdown and realized motorhoming wasn't for them. The Horizon got caught in the crossfire. Values dropped 40 to 50% in just 4 years for many model years. A 2018 Horizon that sold new for $220,000 was trading hands for $115,000 to $130,000 by 2022. That's $90,000 vanished. Owners who financed at those peak prices found themselves underwater faster than they could say extended warranty. The real kicker? These are genuinely capable motorhomes that will give you years of reliable service. The depreciation isn't about quality, it's about timing and market dynamics. You'll find owners in forums who are frustrated but realistic. They know they bought at the peak. They know the market corrected. Some are holding on to their Horizons because selling means taking a massive loss. Others cut their losses and moved on. That hesitation from current owners means more inventory stacking up, which keeps pushing prices down. 3. Jayco Embark. Here's a test. Go to any RV forum and mention the Jayco Embark. Watch how quickly current owners rush to defend it while simultaneously admitting they'd never buy one at original MSRP. That should tell you everything. The Embark launched with serious ambition. Jayco wanted to move upmarket into the luxury diesel pusher segment. They threw every feature at it: residential refrigerators, king beds, premium sound systems, full-body paint, the works. Sticker prices climbed to $250,000 and beyond for loaded models. Dealers sold them by emphasizing the Jayco name and that recognizable brand trust. What they didn't emphasize was how quickly these things would hemorrhage value. We're talking 50 to 60% depreciation in 5 years for many units. A 2017 Embark that listed at $235,000 was lucky to fetch $95,000 by 2022. Some sold for even less when owners got desperate. That's a $140,000 loss for driving around in a luxury motorhome less than 10,000 miles a year. The depreciation hit harder than comparable models from other manufacturers for one specific reason. Jayco's luxury line never achieved the prestige factor they were banking on. When you're shopping used and see an Embark for $110,000 next to a Numer for $150,000, buyers consistently choose the Numer. That $40,000 gap isn't enough to overcome brand perception. So Embark prices have to drop further to find buyers. Mechanically, these are solid rigs. The Spartan chassis handles well, the Cummins engine is reliable, and most major systems work as intended. But try explaining that to someone who just watched their net worth take a 6-figure hit. The Facebook groups are full of owners asking, should I sell now or wait? The answer is usually neither will feel good. 4. Forest River Legacy. Most people shopping for a diesel pusher focus entirely on the wrong things. They obsess over floor plans and countertop materials and how many TVS are included. Meanwhile, they completely ignore resale value and brand positioning. That's how Forest River sold thousands of legacy models to buyers who didn't realize what they were signing up for. Forest River isn't known for luxury, they're known for volume. They produce more RV units than almost anyone else, which is impressive from a business standpoint, but devastating for resale. The Legacy was their attempt to move upmarket, priced between $200,000 and $280,000, depending on the model year and floor plan. The problem? Everything about the Legacy name promised more than Forest River could deliver. Quality control issues plagued these units from day one. Slide-out alignment problems, cabinet doors that wouldn't stay closed, plumbing leaks, electrical issues. The list goes on. None of it was catastrophic, but death by 1,000 paper cuts destroys resale value faster than one major defect. Buyers started avoiding them. Values tanked. A 2016 Legacy SR 340 that stickered for $255,000 was selling for $90,000 to $110,000 by 2021. That's a 60% loss in 5 years. Some particularly rough examples with maintenance issues were listed even lower, sitting on dealer lots for months without serious interest. Private sellers had it worse. Trying to move a used Forest River when buyers can get a better brand for similar money is basically impossible. Here's where it gets interesting. Forest River kept producing them anyway. They didn't discontinue the Legacy until 2020, continuing to flood an already oversaturated market with new units while used ones piled up. Every new Legacy sold at a discount further hammered used values. Current owners watched their equity evaporate in real time. 5. Fleetwood Discovery. I can already see the comments, but Fleetwood is a classic American brand. Yeah, about that. Brand heritage doesn't mean much when your motorhome loses half its value before the registration expires. The Discovery was Fleetwood's bread-and-butter Class A diesel pusher for years. Decent reputation, familiar name, competitive pricing, everything you'd want when shopping for a big rig. Then Rev Group bought Fleetwood. Quality consistency became an issue, and the market started treating Discovery models like hot potatoes. Depreciation charts for the Discovery look almost identical to the other heavy hitters on this list. 35 to 40% in year 1, another 15 to 20% in year 2, and by year 5, you're looking at 55 to 65% total loss depending on the model. A 2018 Discovery LXE that sold for $245,000 was worth maybe $110,000 to $130,000 by 2023. That's $115,000 to $135,000 gone. What killed the Discovery wasn't one catastrophic flaw, it was accumulation. The interiors started feeling dated compared to competitors. Fuel economy was mediocre even for a diesel pusher. Maintenance costs were higher than expected, and critically, warranty service became inconsistent as Fleetwood dealership networks changed. Buyers started choosing other brands, which pushed Discovery values down, which made them harder to sell, which pushed values down further. You'll find plenty of Discovery owners who genuinely love their rigs and have had zero major problems. Those success stories don't change the resale reality. When you're trying to sell a used Discovery and buyers have 20 other options in the same price range with better reputations, you're going to lose that competition every single time. 6. Tiffin Allegro. Red. This one surprises people. Tiffin has a reputation for building quality motorhomes. The brand loyalty is almost cult-like. So when the Allegro Red started showing serious depreciation, owners were legitimately confused. The Red was supposed to be Tiffin's answer to buyers who wanted a diesel pusher on a slight budget. Not exactly entry-level, but more accessible than a Phaeton. MSRP ranged from $220,000 to $280,000 depending on configuration and model year. Initial sales were strong. Then reality set in. Tiffin owners expect a certain level of fit and finish. They're used to the brand delivering on quality. The Red didn't quite hit that mark. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't classic Tiffin either. Corners were cut to hit that price point, and it showed in ways that mattered. Cabinet construction felt cheaper, upholstery wore faster. Little details that separate a premium motorhome from an average one were missing. Depreciation followed predictably, 50 to 55% over 5 years for most model years. A 2017 Red 38 QRA that sold for $265,000 new was trading for $120,000 to $140,000 by 2022. That's $125,000 to $145,000 evaporated. For a brand known for holding value better than average, this was a shock to owners who bought based on Tiffin's reputation. The forums tell the story. Longtime Tiffin enthusiasts who bought Reds expecting typical Tiffin resale value were posting threads titled, "What happened?" and "Why is my Red worth so little?" The answer was uncomfortable. The market decided the Red didn't deserve the Tiffin premium. When given the choice between a discounted Red and a used Phaeton for not much more money, buyers consistently chose the Phaeton. 7. Newmar Bay Star. You know what makes this one special? Newmar is typically the brand other manufacturers envy for resale value. Their high-end models like the Dutch Star and Mountain Air hold value better than almost anything else in the diesel pusher category. The Bay Star? Not so much. The Bay Star was Newmar's entry-level diesel pusher, their way of capturing buyers who wanted the Newmar name without the Newmar price tag. Smart strategy in theory. In execution, it created a depreciation disaster because it split the brand's identity. Here's what happened. Buyers who could afford a real Newmar bought Dutch Stars and Mountain Airs. Buyers who were price-conscious saw Bay Stars priced at $180,000 to $240,000 and thought, that's not that much cheaper than a used Dutch Star. So they bought the used Dutch Star instead, leaving Bay Stars sitting on lots. Values dropped to find buyers. Fast. A 2016 Bay Star 3124 that sold for $215,000 was trading hands for $80,000 to $100,000 by 2021. That's a 53 to 63% loss in 5 years. Even worse, private party sales were nearly impossible. Dealers were the only realistic option, and they knew they had you over a barrel. Trade-in offers were brutal because dealers couldn't move these things without taking a hit themselves. The Baystar wasn't poorly built by any means. Newmar's quality control applied across their lineup, so these were solid, reliable motorhomes. But in the RV world, perception and positioning matter more than mechanical reliability when it comes to resale. The Baystar was positioned as the budget Newmar, which is marketing poison for value retention. That math changes everything. You can buy a depreciated Baystar today and probably enjoy it for years without major issues. But you'll never escape the depreciation shadow if you try to sell. 8. Integra Anthem 75%. That's the percentage of original MSRP some Anthem owners lost in just 6 years. Let that sink in. The Integra Anthem was a market darling when it launched. Premium diesel pusher, gorgeous styling, innovative floor plans, and a price point that seemed to hit the sweet spot between value and luxury. Initial MSRPs ranged from $270,000 to $360,000 depending on length and features. Sales were brisk, reviews were glowing, everything looked perfect. Then the bottom fell out. The 2020 to 2021 RV market correction hit Integra particularly hard. The Anthem, being a relatively new model line without decades of brand equity, took the worst of it. Used Anthems that were only 3 to 4 years old were suddenly competing with new models that had better features and updated designs. Values cratered. A 2017 Anthem 44B that listed at $355,000 was selling for $140,000 to $165,000 by 2023. That's a $190,000 to $215,000 loss. Some lower mileage examples commanded slightly better prices, but even the cream puff units lost 55 to 60% of their value. Owners who financed these things were trapped, owing $200,000 on an RV worth $140,000 isn't a fun position. Unlike some other entries on this list, the depreciation wasn't about quality problems. The Anthem was actually well built, and most owners reported high satisfaction with the coach itself. The problem was purely economic. Too many used units hitting the market simultaneously, not enough buyers willing to pay premium prices, and competition from newer models with better technology. Integra has since restructured their lineup, and the brand is recovering. But those early Anthem owners paid the price, literally, for being early adopters. The Facebook groups are full of stuck owners discussing whether to hold or sell. Neither option feels good when you're $150,000 underwater. 9. Monaco Dynasty. Unlike the others on this list, the Dynasty's depreciation story has an extra chapter. The company went bankrupt. That tends to affect resale value. Monaco was once a premium RV manufacturer known for luxury diesel pushers that competed directly with Newmar and Tiffin. The Dynasty was their flagship, with original MSRPs ranging from $300,000 to over $500,000 for top-tier models. These weren't just motorhomes, they were rolling penthouses with custom paint jobs, residential appliances, and enough slide-outs to make you seasick when they were all extended. Then 2009 happened. Monaco went bankrupt during the financial crisis. The brand was eventually acquired, limped along for a few years, and essentially disappeared from the market. What does that do to resale value? Exactly what you'd expect. A 2007 Monaco Dynasty Diplomat that sold for $380,000 new was barely worth $80,000 to $100,000 by 2015. That's a 74 to 79% loss. But here's the twist. Some of that depreciation was actually opportunity. These were genuinely high-quality motorhomes built during Monaco's peak years. If you could handle the risk of finding parts and service, you got a luxury coach for middle-tier money. The problem for original owners was catastrophic, though. Many financed these rigs expecting typical luxury RV depreciation of 40 to 50% over 8 to 10 years. Instead, they got 70% plus loss in half that time because nobody wanted to buy a motorhome from a bankrupt company. Banks started treating Monaco units as higher-risk loans. Insurance companies questioned whether they should continue coverage on orphaned brands. Today, Monaco Dynasties are collector's items for a specific type of buyer. the person who doesn't care about warranty support and just wants maximum motorhome for minimum money. Values have somewhat stabilized in the $60,000 to $120,000 range depending on year and condition. But those original buyers? They took a beating that still stings. 10. Thor Motor Coach Palazzo. I saved this one for last because it represents everything that went wrong in the RV market over the past decade. The Palazzo wasn't just overpriced, it was comically overpriced for what you actually got. Thor positioned the Palazzo as a premium diesel pusher to compete with established luxury brands. They slapped a $280,000 to $350,000 price tag on it and hoped buyers wouldn't notice that underneath the marketing, it was still a Thor. Quality control was inconsistent at best, warranty claims were frequent, and the build quality never justified the asking price. The market figured this out fast, really fast. First-year depreciation on the Palazzo routinely hit 40 to 45%, which is unheard of even in the brutal RV depreciation world. A brand new 2019 Palazzo that sold for $310,000 was worth maybe $170,000 after 1 year and 8,000 miles. That's a $140,000 loss before you'd even finished the break-in period. By year 4 or 5, Palazzos were trading in the $110,000 to $150,000 range, regardless of original MSRP. A $350,000 coach was indistinguishable in value from a $280,000 coach. Both had lost 55 to 60% and were competing for the same bargain-hunting buyers. The original owners who paid top dollar got absolutely destroyed. Here's what really killed the Palazzo. Thor's reputation finally caught up with them at the worst possible time. When your $300,000 plus luxury motorhome has the same slide-out issues as your $150,000 entry-level unit, people notice. When YouTubers start documenting problems, buyers get scared. When owners flood forums with complaints, resale values collapse. The Palazzo is still in production, which is almost insulting to early buyers. Thor keeps cranking them out while used ones pile up on dealer lots and private sellers can't find buyers at any reasonable price. The current market is flooded with 2017 to 2020 Palazzos from desperate owners trying to escape before values drop further. But here's the thing about the Palazzo and every other RV on this list. If you're buying used, this depreciation is your opportunity. These aren't all terrible motorhomes. Some are actually quite good. The market just corrected from wildly inflated pandemic-era pricing and exposed which brands couldn't justify their premium prices. A $120,000 Palazzo that originally cost $310,000 might be exactly what you need if you can stomach the depreciation story and don't plan to resell anytime soon. Look, the RV depreciation game is brutal, and these models got hit harder than most. Some of it was quality issues, some was market timing, some was brand perception failing to match reality. If you bought any of these new, I feel for you. Watching six figures evaporate hurts regardless of how much fun you had driving it. But if you're shopping now, these depreciated rigs represent serious value if you know what you're getting into. Which of these shocked you the most? Have you owned any of these models? Drop a comment and let me know your experience. And if you think I missed one that depreciated even worse, I want to hear about it. Hit that subscribe button because we're diving into more RV market chaos next week, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one.